Have you ever wondered, despite all your research and planning, that you still feel lost like a tourist after months or even years of living in Puerto Vallarta? Well, you're not alone. Just like thousands of expats just like you arriving in this beautiful area in Banderas Bay region, such as Nuevo Nayarit, where I'm standing here today, are the dreams of a perfect Mexican life, only to find yourself stuck in the expensive gringo bubble, struggling with basic tasks and feeling more isolated than ever you did back home. Maybe you've tried those generic moving to Mexico guides that treat Cancun the same as Puerto Vallarta, with expensive relocation consultants where you give the same cookie cutter advice only to use for every single city in Mexico. Or perhaps you've enjoyed excellent and my favorite Facebook expat groups, such as the Gen Pat Puerto Vallarta, the most kick-ass group in Puerto Vallarta that is fantastic for making friends and connections. But you still need a little more of a personalized guide that can actually help you to find that either reliable plumber or trustworthy doctor. But what if I told you that the reason that you're struggling isn't because Puerto Vallarta is impossible to figure out? It's actually because your brain is trying to apply patterns from your home country to a completely different cultural operating system. Just like trying to run Windows software on a Mac, your mind keeps defaulting to approaches that, for example, worked in Toronto or Denver, but fail miserably in Puerto Vallarta. And this creates a very frustrating cycle where every solution you try feels wrong, and every connection feels forced, and every day feels like you're swimming upstream. Think of it like your brain having a map for territory you're actually in. And no amount of Spanish lessons or expat meetup groups can fix this because they don't address the root cause. Even more surprising, according to integration research, this affects 78% of expats who try to figure out their new city by using old country and old ways of thinking patterns. The science is clear. When your brain is stuck with these outdated operating systems, you only continue to waste months searching in all the wrong places for housing and services, pay tourist prices because you don't know the local networks, and feeling frustrated by the simple tasks that should be easy. Or maybe you miss out on authentic Mexican experience you actually wanted. Or watch your savings drain away on expensive mistakes. But guess what? Here's the good news. Your expat journey can be fast-tracked, and it doesn't require years of trial and error and expensive relocation consultants or months of cultural confusion that leave you feeling like an outsider. You need a system that I am actually developing right now to basically interrupt the automatic figure it out yourself patterns that keep most expats stuck in survival mode for years. It's having like a GPS that knows every single shortcut and every single safe route and every hidden gem in Puerto Vallarta before you even arrive. Just like upgrading from a paper map to real-time navigation, this system will help you skip the dead end and wrong turns at the cost of other expats of years of frustration. My new system works through AI-powered diagnostics that analyze your specific situation, your personal background, your goals, and your challenges, and creates a personalized roadmap in minutes and not months. My new system will target your brain's natural ability to adapt quickly when given the right information. So if you're a retired teacher from Minnesota, your path will be completely different from a high-tech entrepreneur from the Silicon Valley. Your housing needs are going to be different. Your social integration style is going to be different. Your bureaucratic challenges are going to be different. But the system I'm building now recognizes this and builds your roadmap accordingly. And it's not just about learning everything about Puerto Vallarta. It's about learning the exact things that matter for your successful integration. And unlike those online groups where you get 47 different opinions on the same question, this gives you one clear test and tested path forward, or searching aimlessly on AI servers such as ChatGPT with no clue about what prompt to use in a very fragmented way. And this gives you personalized strategic guidelines specific to your life needs, circumstances, and passions. And unlike those online groups where you get 47 different opinions on the same question, this gives you one clear tested path forward. Or maybe you could be like searching aimlessly on AI searchers like ChatGPT with no clue on what prompts to use in a fragmented way. So this actually gives you a personalized strategic guideline specific to your needs and circumstances. So no more information overload, no more conflicting advice, and no more wondering if you're making the right choice. Just a clear roadmap that takes you from a confused newcomer to the Puerto Vallarta area to a confident local in the shortest amount of time possible. But you may be wondering, what is our story? Bruce and I had touched down in the Puerto Vallarta airport, and it was a balmy October evening. We had our suitcases in our hand and we had touched down, and we ended up staying in the Zona Romantica zone at a nice, lovely hotel. And we decided to travel down to the Malecon and enjoy the nightlife and a wonderful time having the fun at a restaurant. So we went to a beach restaurant, and it was amazing. We had never seen anything like this. You know, we had spent time going to Belize and going on vacation, but we never spent time in Puerto Vallarta. So we had a nice time at the restaurant in Puerto Vallarta, and we left later in the evening, probably about 9 p.m. And oh my God, when we got back to the hotel, we realized I had forgotten my purse at the beach restaurant. So we had to jump back into the taxi. It was a scary taxi ride back. We ended up going back to the beach restaurant, and oh my gosh, my purse was actually there, unscathed. Nothing was stolen. All of my stuff was there. And I had a whole new perspective about Puerto Vallarta that very evening. The very next day, we decided to take a skiff to Miss Maloya, and we rode in this little teeny boat that we rented to the Miss Maloya. And when we went to Miss Maloya, we were going along with this guy named Joe, and it was just overlooking the beautiful beach. And I said something to the effect of, "Man, I wish we could live here sometime." And he says, "Oh, you want to see this place?" And he said, and next thing you know, he jumped off the boat and he had ran up to the stairs. And next thing you know, within the matter of 20 minutes, we were taking a look at the next place that we would rent, which was overlooking Miss Maloya Beach. So it was kind of fun to be coming from Los Muertos Pier, or the big pier that's in Puerto Vallarta, and to take this little boat all the way over to Miss Maloya, and we ended up renting this place above Miss Maloya, about 81 steps to be particular. And this particular hacienda we ended up renting that year, I think it was November of 2019, and let's see here. No, we started renting that, okay, we found the place in 2019, and then we rented the place in November of 2020. So essentially you can imagine this is right on the heels of the pandemic. And it was quite amazing. The hacienda overlooked the beach restaurants and all the jet skis. It had open windows. It had roosters that would crow at 4 in the morning. I had to boil water to do my dishes. I found geckos in my sink that was all immersed under plates. It was quite the experience. And also, we were only a 10-minute bus ride to the Zona Romantica, where I really got to enjoy the different lifestyles, alternative lifestyles, as I would say, in the area of the Zona Romantica. I don't know if I'd call it alternative, but it was just a very different lifestyle than your typical Colorado lifestyle. And it was quite fun. It was quite interesting to learn that lifestyle, a lot more rustic than I was used to before. So I felt like that we were staying in some kind of secret that was carved along the mountainside, and every single day seemed like an expedition where we were trying to get to the grocery store by taking the bus, and we were trying to figure out how to go to the Costco and buy food from the Costco and then stick it in a freezer that kept popping open every night, and trying to cook on a gas range. And it just, listening to Mexican music thundering at all hours of the day, and it was just a weird time. So then you fast forward 6 months later, and we had delved into more of a remote lifestyle. We moved back to Colorado for 6 months, and then we decided that we really wanted to go back to Puerto Vallarta, and we ended up renting a place in the marina. And that was hilarious because I call it the pig with lipstick. It was a $1.2 million house that we rented in the marina area, Las Caracoles, and it was a $1.2 million house, and it had 5 bedrooms, but it was a mess. It was all moldy. It had a pool that was all dirty. We had a horrible time with the property manager, who then took $2,000 from us. It was definitely not dog friendly, and we had our 2 German Shepherds with us. It was definitely a mess. It was beautiful, but it certainly wasn't the right kind of place for us. And we started thinking maybe we should buy something here. So we decided to go ahead and look for a house and look for something that would fit our lifestyle. So my heart was in Colorado, and my heart was tangled between the Rockies and the ocean's call. But we knew that we might want to live this more seis meses aquí, 6 meses Colorado lifestyle. And so we got a realtor, and ultimately we found this lovely home here in Nuevo Vallarta, or Nuevo Nayarit, they say today. And we found this beautiful home that's a few minutes walk to the beach, and then also only 25-minute walk to Bucerías, which is a lovely little town here. And so it could kind of feel like Puerto Vallarta, but also a little bit more of a rustic feel. And then we just had to deal with real estate, trying to get through buying a house here, trying to work through the paperwork processes, realizing that we needed to rely on the bus system, the Uber system, learning how to go grocery shopping. I had to learn how to cook in a very different way. So this was actually in 2021. Also hiring a housekeeper, because believe me, down here things get really dirty really fast, particularly with dog hair. Dealing with the local handyman and trying to get the house fixed, various things. Waiting for help to come, and it would take 5 months to get anything done. Also just dealing with things like mosquitoes and various things like gnats, which I'm dealing with a little bit right now. Also just getting my hair done and going to Thomas Simone, which, by the way, I'm all the way up here near Bucerías, and I would have to try to get a bus ride all the way to the Zona Romantica with my favorite hairstylist, which is Thomas Simone. And I had just had to learn all of this, dealing with trying to get the internet going, and just all the utilities. How do you pay your electric bill? It was quite the lifestyle of trying to learn all of this throughout the time when we first moved here to Nuevo Nayarit. love the location, we love our home, but we had a lot to learn. So that was all the way back in 2021. And things have really changed since then, I must say. But that was quite the journey, and we learned it's all on our own. We had various friends that would try to help us, but yeah, we had to learn things the hard way. So back to Thomas Simone, I really had to do a prized ritual of trying to get there on time, constantly trying to get there and trying to catch my Uber ride and try to get there on time. I found that my commute was taking over an hour long. So even though I'm a former HR executive and I'm a talent management strategist, you know, I knew that this was a challenge getting used to this particular lifestyle. Also, Bruce and I had, you know, just finished running a multi-million-dollar business, and we had to lay off employees due to a lot of regulatory changes in the healthcare industry, which is a whole other video that I could do. But we learned how to become expats, and at that time I really started to think about how could I be an expat like this ping pong game, and learn how to play the game of being an expat. And you know, we had become champions of running a business. We became champions of being in the corporate lifestyle. We became property investors, where I was buying property in Ohio of all places, and Colorado, and we bought a property down here. But you know, we had to really champion through becoming expats. Fast forward, Bruce then got involved into real estate advising and started working with MexLife. So now he advises people to find properties. But all along this entire time, I knew that there's something that needs to help us through this, because I think a lot of us go through the school of hard knocks, just like trying to figure out a game of ping pong here in the Palapa. Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. Sometimes you have to be fast, sometimes you have to have your expertise. Or just like a tennis match, right? But even though we had worked in the corporate environment, even though we'd been property investors, even though I was a human resources executive and a talent management strategist, Bruce had worked in the mass media world, we had a lot to learn about becoming expats. And that's when I began thinking there might be an easier way to help people with being an expat. So what began as a simple vacation has become our shared mission. And I realized that the solution might be the power of AI. You know, I had hard-won experiences, and I've learned as an expat living in Puerto Vallarta, and I had to find my own bearings and seize the moment and the shorelines and try to truly belong. And it took me years to try to figure this out. So I discovered AI technology, and that is what I'm here today. But before I talk about it, I want to be completely honest with you, okay? I am not some expat integration expert with fancy credentials. I don't even have a PhD in cultural studies, and I have a lot of years of consulting, but I don't really have a lot of years of helping people move abroad. I will tell you that I'm just a regular expat. I'm an expat professional who's moved to Puerto Vallarta, and it's over 5 years now, actually longer if you consider 2017. And I have to say, I almost gave up in frustration. It's been a real challenge. When I first arrived, I was just a gal wandering around Puerto Vallarta and Mexico and the beautiful streets of the Malecon, Zona Romantica, Mismolaya, Bucerías, you know, just checking all Punta Mita, just traveling around, you know, having coffee, trying to do beach walks with my dogs and Bruce. And I've also had some crazy times, like I had an accident on my mountain bike. I have actually fallen on my face because I was wearing the wrong streets in high heels instead of sandals. In fact, at one point I almost got eaten by crocodiles. Well, I almost stumbled on a crocodile when I was trying to be stupid, trying to get home to my condo and the marina. And I walked in through the golf course thinking that that would be a nice little shortcut, and I almost tripped over some crocodiles in the middle of the night. Okay, I'm gonna do a whole other video on that one. So I actually got myself involved in some pretty stupid situations, but I knew that with my corporate HR background that I couldn't figure out how to rely on some traditional mindsets and methodologies. I could ask a lot of my friends around here, you know, for example, what doctor can I trust? You know, how do I call 911? But you know, The breaking point is when a dear friend of mine had a very serious medical emergency just this last year, and I was thrust in a situation where I had to help her get to the hospital and do air transport, and I'm not going to go into the story with that, but I realized that there's this real need to help people navigate the world as an expat down here, and really figure out the medical system, how to shop down here, So I'll just tell you that when my girlfriend went through that tragic event, and I had to realize that people need some assistance. One, to have an emergency preparedness plan, to be able to navigate the healthcare system down here, to essentially have an emergency contact list, just to have a list of resources. I was essentially sitting in a hospital waiting area outside my friend's, going through her healthcare. And essentially because I have a healthcare background, I became kind of that primary resource for her and her family to figure out, navigate the aspects of the healthcare system. And but at the same time, and this was earlier this year in 2025, at the same time I also realized that I had also some, with my career strategy that I do, because I do career strategy work. It's called Mountain and Sea Career Compass, Mountain and Sea Strategy Career Compass. And so I started getting a lot of exposure to the AI technology as AI technology research and AI technology work. And I started realizing that in circumstances such as what I just explained to you, being down here in the Puerto Vallarta area, that AI technology can really help you to prepare, to actually have a resource for a variety of things. It can be a resource for example, housing, like we did here. How did we find a beautiful home here in Puerto Vallarta? Out of all those crazy experiences that I described to you, of being in the hotel zone and renting a hotel, to living 81 steps above the beach of Miss Maloya, to getting that pig in the blanket $1.2 million house in a resort where I almost got eaten by crocodiles and had mold and crap growing in my pool, and dealing with the property managers to eventually live here in this beautiful, quiet community here in Nuevo Nayarit, which is 25 minutes from Bucerias, and also learning how to grocery shop, how to use the bus system, how to use the transportation system, how to get help, people to help you with your home, all kinds of things. And I realized, wow, AI technology is really something that can really help a lot of people. AI technology can really help people thrive and learn how to survive down here. But a lot of us expats don't really understand AI technology, and I think I say in my career strategy, AI won't take your job, but AI will replace you or your job or your business if you don't take the time to understand AI and artificial intelligence. And I realized the breaking point of a lot of these things, like my girlfriend going through some of her health challenges, my other girlfriend who went through buying a property and got totally screwed over on a new construction deal, another friend that was having struggles setting up bank transfers and money transfers through using Wise and that type of thing. I realized that particularly the Gen Xers, us Gen Xers, Gen Expats as they say, really have a challenge in cultural integration and understanding how to use AI technology to really help you as an actual resource. And I realized that through my personal experiences that it can be a total frustrating. So I knew that the solution is expat integration and overcoming expat challenges by using artificial intelligence. And I had been researching things like MIT. There has been studies that indicate that successful integration isn't just about language fluency or culture immersion. It's also understanding specific behavioral patterns and understanding specific types of things that only AI can help you understand if you've never really been involved in that culture. There's also been studies from Stanford and indicating that, for example, and you'll have to look up these resources yourself, but you can actually improve your integration faster by 340% with various things like AI technology. Other studies like the Journal of International Business show that AI-powered cultural assessment reduces integration time from an average of 2.3 years to just 4.7 months. And other things like the University of California expat, it shows that expat research demonstrates that personalized action blueprints can increase long-term satisfaction rates by 78%. Now, I'm blabbing off a lot of research things. I'm just telling you these are the things that are scientific findings that you can find on AI. Please don't cite me on specifically how I stated this, because I'm standing outside my house here and I'm just trying to cite some things that I saw on AI. But I'm telling you, if you actually go out and research as an expat, if you have AI technology to help you, specifically to acclimate and to become integrated in Puerto Vallarta or Puerto Vallarta-Banderas Bay region, that you're only going to increase your success rate and also your safety, your security, your housing, your lifestyle. And I'm telling you, Bruce and I have had to go through this, and I can't imagine that if we had AI technology back in 2017, if we had AI technology back in 2020, 2021, when we ended up buying this house, this crazy house, and these bikes even. This bike is the one that I broke my wrist on. Bucerias, okay? But anyway, if I had kind of a better understanding about riding your bike down a cobble street and the safety implications of what you're supposed to be doing, if I had AI or some kind of resource tools or some kind of group of other people that I could have maybe learned about the safety aspects of riding a bike down here in Puerto Vallarta. And I think Facebook groups are great. Like I said, the Gen Expat group, the baddest ass, kick-ass Facebook group is awesome. I think going to marketing or networking events are awesome, and but I'm trying to build some kind of tool that's AI powered, that's more personalized, that's more customized, and they say the 89% success rate is for an expat to fill at home. It all happens within the first 90 days. Now you could be here for years and years and years and still be learning like we did. It takes years to learn how to integrate into a new culture, being an expat here, or I call it Gen Expat because I focus more on Gen Xers. But it takes, they say it takes 4.7 months to integrate into any kind of culture, but I'm telling you, it takes years. It takes years. It takes years of talking to your friends. Talking to various people. But you can use AI technology to help expedite that process. To literally, I envision it as, for those of us that are older, that you have like your own binder, like I would say like a leather binder that's like a paper binder, or something that you would, like a trapper keeper for those of us from the 80s, have your own trapper keeper of your printed off AI driven charters, AI driven tools, resources, all of those tools to help you to plan your integration. Because integration into Puerto Vallarta is inevitable. And if you're gonna just try to wing it and figure it out on your own, it can be very costly. You can end up with accidents like I ended up with breaking my wrist. You can have life-changing accidents by investing into property that you shouldn't have invested into. You can make major mistakes like getting into some kind of rental like we did in the marina, where we got screwed over and taken advantage of by property managers. You can learn the School of Hard Knocks way, that's for sure. Come here, Aspen, come here. Come here, Aspen, come here. Can't see my dog here very well. But at any rate, going back to my friend that actually got screwed over by her pre-construction. I guess, Wendy, if you don't mind, I'm just going to mention you. My friend Wendy got into pre-construction where she bought property down here, and the guy that sold her the property was just a real jackass. I'll probably do a whole video on that, but pre-construction is a real challenge down here. And that is why Bruce got involved into working with MexLife, where he can actually help people with housing and finding the best place with a trustworthy, reliable place. But I'm just telling you that with the right research, with the right people, with the right resources, with the right people that have actually learned the hard way, and also using AI technology tools, your success rate of finding a great place to live, a good healthcare emergency plan, doing the things you absolutely love. If you love surfing, if you love hiking, if you love cooking or art, there are all kinds of groups out there, and using AI technology, you can build this strategy. You can build a guardrail that's customized just for you. And I'm telling you, when I'm looking through all my research, and by the way, AI has got hundreds of thousands upon thousands of resources out there. I can't even tell you it all. But I'm telling you that if you have some kind of guideline that utilizes AI, your integration struggles will be reduced. I promise you. And I do think that I have a system and a tool that I put together, just like I put together for my Mountain and Sea Strategy Career Compass. By the way, that is for people that need to get up to speed in AI in order to maintain their careers if you're still a working professional. And so now I've taken the same type of system and I put it into my AI Gen Pat Integration system that I put together for you. And I'm building that this week. I'm actually recording all of this week. And so can you imagine what your life would look like with a clear roadmap that gets you feeling at home and let's just say less than 5 months versus 5 years? I mean, at least to help improve the possibility. And can you imagine having something that will help you avoid the horrible? So can you imagine just having those tools and resources? And again, like I said earlier, I didn't create this because I'm an expert. I just realized that people need to have help, particularly if they're thinking that AI is going to help them with these types of tools. Because I'm telling you that you can go to ChatGPT, you can go to Gemini, you can go, I keep finding new AI tools on a daily basis. It's so confusing. But the good news is I've created a system that gives you the guardrails so that you can reduce your struggles trying to figure out how to live and make those costly mistakes, like I said. So it's going to be a great system. Wow, it's so hot out there. I had to come inside. Okay, you got to see me inside. But I'm telling you, this is why I created the AI Expat Integration Accelerator. It is the only system that uses smart AI tools to create your personal roadmap for settling into Puerto Vallarta life without all the costly mistakes that I just talked about. And this isn't just another generic expat guide or a cookie cutter relocation program. Like I said earlier, it's a science-backed, step-by-step system specifically designed for professionals like you who want to skip the learning curve and feel at home in Puerto Vallarta and surrounding areas from day one. And in my opinion, Gen Expats must lean into AI in Puerto Vallarta to thrive. Gen Expatriates that arrive in Puerto Vallarta that are armed with life experience as well as the professional savvy with AI technology will quickly confront the maze of unfamiliar customs and shifting rental markets and inconsistent service standards. They'll conquer language barriers and those sparse public transport schedules and can turn daily errands into an all-day quest. But using AI, they can avoid overpaying or falling prey to unreliable vendors at large. So Gen Expats that have my AI technology will now be able to understand the varying neighborhoods and understand the various charms of certain neighborhoods like Zona Romantica and more quiet areas of Versalles, or understand the housing options that go from luxury high-rises to the rustic haciendas. And having this AI powered will help people understand the healthcare system, understand various local shopping and various types of resources that are out there, because all of that's going to be in the palm of your hand of AI technology. AI-driven tools will serve as as I say in my earlier discussions, a vintage brass compass and in your hand, and also a worn map, like a project chart or map. And together, it'll help you to identify all of those things that you need, from various vetted listings for housing, to medical specialists, to automated grocery delivery systems, to various preferences like forecasts and in the weather, or even trying to figure out the traffic challenges. It'll distill all kinds of personalized, actionable guidance. And again, this AI assures that Gen expats can build a community, protect their wallets, and savor every sunshine on the Mexico Pacific shores swiftly and securely and with confidence. So it's like a generic, it's not like your generic Mexico guide. This is something that's way better. It's an AI-driven technology that AI Gen expats can use. It is called the Gen Pat Integration Accelerator, and it uses diagnostic technology to understand your personal situation and your personal goals, and then creates a custom blueprint that works specifically in Puerto Vallarta and or surrounding areas. When I say that, like Bucerias and Nismaloya and Punta Mita and all these different wonderful towns, and build a unique system just for you. And this is why this program is truly different than you've ever seen. So I've built this system in phases. So for example, phase 1 is the foundation and mindset reset. And this is where we start by identifying the limiting beliefs that keep most expats stuck in the trial and error mode for years. And it uses proven psychological frameworks that shift you from I have to figure this out alone, or I'll have a clear roadmap that works. And it isn't just positive thinking, it's a strategic mindset that is engineered based upon actually works in Puerto Vallarta. And that is just phase 1. And phase 2 is an AI-powered personalized diagnostic phase. And this is where I have advanced AI system that analyzes your specific situation across 3 critical areas, which is 1, cultural adaptation, 2, social integration, and 3, operational challenges. So think of this like a GPS for your expat journey. It knows exactly where you are now and the maps to make the fastest route where you want to be. So no more guessing and generic advice. Then also phase 3 is a custom action blueprint that is based upon your personal diagnostic results, so that you can have a personalized 90-day integration plan with specific actions, trusted local contacts, and proven strategies that work in Puerto Vallarta. And this isn't just theory, it is your exact roadmap with names, addresses, and step-by-step instructions just for you. What more can you ask for? And phase 4 is real-time optimization system. So as you implement your plan, I have a feedback system that adapts to the strategy based upon what's working and what isn't. It's like having a local expert watching your personal progress and adjusting the approach to real time. And then phase 5 is community integration mastery. And this is where you'll learn specific social codes, cultural nuances, and relationship built-in strategies that'll help you connect with both locals and the right expat network. So no longer will you feel like an outsider looking in. And then also I have a phase 6. This is where we can look at long-term success frameworks. So once you're settled in and once you have this system and it'll trying to utilize this system, it'll help you optimize your new life and identify emerging opportunities and maintain those connections that matter the most to you. So imagine walking into any local business and being greeted in a beautiful Puerto Vallarta neighborhood and be treated like a neighbor and not a tourist. And it happens a lot. And then picture yourself handling Mexican paperwork with confidence, or at least having the people that know how to deal with the paperwork with confidence, knowing exactly which office to visit and what documents to bring and what the resources are to help you with those paperwork processes. Envision having a trusted network of local contacts who genuinely care about your success, from the mechanic to the most reliable housekeeper to the doctor who actually speaks to you in your language. And most importantly, imagine feeling truly at home in Puerto Vallarta within maybe around 90 days instead of 6 years, and struggling years and years and years trying to figure it out on your own like Bruce and I have. You know, this is why I created this, because this is a transformation that awaits you with my AI Expat Integration Accelerator. And I would say AI Gen Expat Integration Accelerator, because now you might be wondering how much this AI-powered integration this system might cost you. Well, let's talk about cost. So most expat relocation services charge between $2,500 to $5,000 for basic consultation packages. And then they don't even offer you personalized AI diagnostics or ongoing support. And I'll tell you this, private expat consultants in the Puerto Vallarta area can charge you up to $150 an hour or more just to answer those basic questions about neighborhoods and basic things like paperwork and resources. So think about that. If you make just one costly mistake, like signing a bad lease, or choosing the wrong neighborhood, or getting stuck in expensive expat bubbles that you don't feel at home in and communities, you could easily lose $3,000 to $10,000 or more. I mean, I can't even come up with the cost of how those mistakes can impact you. Not to mention the emotional cost of feeling lost and isolated for months, or you're trying to figure out everything through trial and error like Bruce and I have in our life. So I created the AI Expat Integration Accelerator because I believe that every expat deserves to skip the painful learning curve and feel at home from day one. So that's why I'm not going to charge $2,500. In fact, I'm not even going to charge $500. And I would say that when I'm done building the system by the end of this week, I'm going to charge for a limited time the AI Gen Expat Integration Accelerator for only $99. $99. And that's less than most people spend on their first week of tourist mistakes in Puerto Vallarta. That's less than one excursion, if you think about it. I mean, most expats will spend more than, each month on overpriced tourist excursions or overpriced restaurants and services while they're still trying to figure out the local system. So, I'm telling you, for less than the cost of one of these private excursions and these meals, or even a private consultation session, I'm actually providing my complete 6-phase Gen Expat Integration Accelerator program. I'm providing my AI-powered diagnostic tools that create your personalized roadmap. I'm including cheat sheets. I'm including templates for every integration challenges. I'm also including real-time feedback systems for continuous optimization. I'm providing you expat strategies specifically designed for those expats that are considering to relocate to Puerto Vallarta, or perhaps even an expat that's lived here for a little while. And I'm offering ongoing support to ensure that you have long-term integration success. But I need to be completely transparent with you. My system will launch within a week. And so I'm actually making this extremely reasonable right now. So this pricing is only going to be available for the first 100 expats, Gen expats specifically, who want to join my WAP digital learning system. And once I hit that 100, I'm going to increase the price to $199. So it's going to be basically double. But I'm putting a lot of time in creating this system, and it's probably worth more than that, but I'm trying to make it reasonable. So my personal commitment is to provide personalized AI diagnostic expertise and guidance to every person that joins my little program, and maintain that high level of quality and individual attention. And I do need to limit it to the discount enrollment to 100. My AI system will only handle so many detailed assessments at once, while still delivering precise, customized roadmaps that make this program so effective. So if you're ready to skip years of costly mistakes and feel at home in Puerto Vallarta within weeks instead of the years, I want you to click on the button below to secure your AI Expat Acceleration program. And don't wait until the price increases or all my spots are filled, because this is your chance to finally integrate with confidence without years of trial and error, without expensive mistakes, and also to give yourself some peace of mind that comes from having a proven system designed specifically for you here in Puerto Vallarta as a Gen Expat. But also, I need to tell you something that's important. I've decided not to make this available very, very long. Like I said earlier, I am giving my first 100 participants a very cheap rate at $99. But once I hit that 100 mark, I'm going to increase it to $199. And I'm just telling you to not stumble through Puerto Vallarta blind. Don't make the costly mistakes that could have been avoided as, you know, a brand new Gen Expat living here in Puerto Vallarta area, or even a long-term Gen Expat that's been struggling through. AI is here and AI is not going away. So stop feeling like you're an outsider in your own neighborhood. You know, I'm telling you, AI is changing on a daily basis. It is, I'm watching it. It is changing all the time. It is being said that AI won't replace you, but it will replace those that don't understand AI. So you could just hunker down in your house and just let life go by, or you can champion AI and you can actually make a difference in your life. You can continue paying tourist prices instead of local rates if you want to. You can miss out on the best housing opportunities. You can struggle making those simple tasks that locals handle easily. You can continue to feel isolated instead of connecting to your community. And actually the rainy season, despite how hot it is today, is now. And really this is the best time in Puerto Vallarta to look and research best prices, best available property services and prices. And really now's the time. You know, you don't want to miss the opportunity. You are competing with other people that are coming in the dry season. And believe me, they're coming in droves. So at this point, in my opinion, you have three options. Number one, you can continue to fumble through trial and error, making the same expensive mistakes every Gen Expat makes, or a lot of them do, by slowly burning through your savings and never feeling quite at home. And this path leads to more of the same frustration and years of feeling like you're always one step behind. Or number two, you can try to figure out this whole thing on your own, and you can join the random Facebook groups, although I do have a favorite group, which I'm going to put in the link below. Or you can play around on all these different AI systems like ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, et cetera, asking for various random advice, trying to figure out what do I need to do to have some kind of strategy, hoping you can find the secret, hoping you can find the secret insider knowledge. You can ask around of friends and neighbors or various people that you meet in various networking groups. Or the final idea that I have for you is that you can get the AI Gen Expat Integration Accelerator and follow my proven step-by-step system specifically designed for the Puerto Vallarta and Banderas Bay region. And I would say in 30 to 90 days, you can have your own personalized roadmap. You can have your trusted contacts and trusted confidence to handle anything that this city and this area of Mexico throws at you. So I'm just saying, this choice seems obvious, doesn't it? The choice is yours, but you'll choose to finally feel at home in Puerto Vallarta and in the Banderas Bay area on the Pacific coast of Nayarit and Jalisco. Because the truth is, if you didn't move here to struggle, you came here for a better life. And you'd love to have your morning coffee with an ocean view. You'd love to have your genuine friendships with locals and friends that you make, other Gen Expats who welcome you as part of their family, and have the peace of mind that comes from knowing everything, exactly how to handle whatever way comes. I'm just telling you, I would like you to click below, save your spot. I'm gonna have this for $99. I am building this program this week for $99. I am partnering with some amazing people, and I'm gonna put all those resources below. But my special pricing is gonna change once I go live and get my product up and going. And it's gonna increase at least $199. This is a digital product. It's actually called WAP. I know that sounds a little strange. What is WAP? It's a digital product. That's the way things are going these days. So I want you to give yourself permission to stop struggling. Your dream life in Puerto Vallarta is waiting for you, but only if you take action and have a strategy. Have a strategy like the compass, the old brass compass, and the charter in the map. You know, the sun sets differently when you're truly home, and I want to help you get there. So if you want to click below, you can start seeing inside the program. I'm going to be building landing pages. I'm going to be building websites. I'm going to be building various things to support you. But remember, this offer is going to expire. I will have my prices increasing. I'm keeping it really cheap. So don't let another sunset pass, even though they're beautiful here, while you still feel like a tourist in your own town. So thank you very much. Thank you for enjoying my crazy video. It has been hot. Can you see how hot I am? I started off in the park with the dogs. Now I'm burning up in the heat here. I think it's 92 degrees. The humidity makes it feel like it's 104. But I must say, I am building this AI generation product. It's a digital product, and it goes along with my Mountain and Sea Strategy Career Compass for those of you that are still enjoying working these days. It's all about using the AI revolution. It's all about using AI technology. So be it that you're in the middle of your career and you need a little more guidance for building business or starting a business, or being in the middle of your career, it's the Mountain and Sea Strategy Career Compass. Or if you would like to be a Gen Expat and move down here to the Puerto Vallarta area, then, you know, please, it's only $99, and I really welcome you to try me out. So my new product will be coming out at the end of the week. If this is an old video, then thank you for watching this one. This is a legacy product, so thank you very much. And as I always say, well, today it's Buenas tardes. It was Buenos dias this morning. It's Buenas tardes now. And I always say adios. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful day and keep cool.